Okay, so it's my pleasure to invite Mariam Nisar for this interesting webinar on shortlisting universities and how you can find graduate research opportunities on the internet. And I really hope that this webinar is going to enrich your experience and it would help you for your graduate applications, which I hope you are going to start with soon, yeah, in near future. So Mariam, the stage is yours. I will not steal much of your time. Then please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So, a little bit about me. I was SSGSS scholar for session 2022, and I was in your shoes maybe 2 years ago. So, I remember like how SSGSA mentors helped me throughout their whole this whole application process, and it could be like very overwhelming. So I hope to share some of the tips and insight strategies to help you navigate this process. So, okay. So, here is the US Canada application timeline. So, for August to September, which I feel like you should be preparing for your TOEFL exams and start drafting your CVs and SOPs. And if your program requires a personal research statement, you should start writing that because these things takes a lot of time. And for first things of like picking up universities, you should pick up on the basis of what the research is going on in the department and which professor interests you. So you should like start contacting professors because this is like a beginning of fall semesters and professors are like starting to get busier. So I will suggest like start contacting professors right now. And then on the basis of your those response, you should like shortlist and select universities. So for September to October, you should be giving your TOEFL exams or GREs, whatever is required by your programs. And then you should have like final list of 8 to 10 universities and then start applying as soon as possible and like lock in your recommenders, seek LORs from your professors, and finalize your SOP draft. And for like October, November, I remember like when I was applying for my PhD program, most of the deadlines were by December 15th or December 1. So it's not a lot of time and start applying 1 month before. Don't wait till the end. So let's navigate to why like shortlisting matters. So there is like 4,000 plus universities all around the world, and obviously it's overwhelming to know which one is the right fit for you. So like you have to select some 8 to 10 universities which are best fit for your academic and career goals, and this will save you a lot of time, money, and of course, like energy, because each application has a particular requirement. It's not like you will put one CV in all 10 applications. So you have to design your SOPs and CVs to fit your applications. Um, so some of the key priorities that should be you should be looking out while filling like shortlisting your universities. Firstly, should be like location, like what is the region and what is the region you are targeting, and what is the cost of living there? Is it a big city or a college town? So you can like budget your issues. And then if you are not okay with living in a cold climate, then you should target some universities that are in south where it's not that much colder. So it depends on your personal preference too. And also how how the funding is how funding is in your programs, because right now funding in US universities are kind of tight. So mostly fundings in is like RA and TA based, and there are also external fellowships or department based scholarships. So you should like try to go to your like program page and read out on all of that is offered. And also this is like most important thing, like if the faculty and research aligns with your interests. Suppose you're applying to like top 10 university, top 10 like ranked university, but the research that is going there doesn't fit what interests you. So that place will not be good fit for you. And also going through like research of investment where their alumni end up, you should keep these factors in matter. So I was talking about locations. So I will give you example of US because that's where I like applied for many PhD programs. So I have better insight on this. So, for example, like East Coast has most of the biotech hubs like Boston and NYC. So, if you want to apply some universities in Boston area or New York, so you will have more access to that. And if you're like a software, if you're applying to software programs or engineering programs and you want to work with tech and startups, so that will be more accessible if you apply to universities in West Coast. So Midwest is also you know has a more colder climate, but it has like affordable living. So it has like good research universities like Wisconsin, Madison, Michigan, and Illinois. So you can like look into that too. And South has it has like lower cost of living, lower rents, lower housing, but it has a growing research ecosystem, and there are like good universities like Texas A&M and UT Austin that you can target. Other thing is funding. So most of the programs, PhD programs in US are fully funded, and if your PhD is not fully funded, so that's like useless. So like most of the state universities and even like top universities, they offer a fully funded and tuition waivers exam, stipends. Uh, so and also they are labs that are funded by various federal grants like NSF, NIH, especially for like engineering and life science fields. Also, some universities and and it is very programs and department specific. They offer specific fellowships to their students. This can be like domestic and international, so you have to look for like international fellowships and travel grants to the students. And there are also like external fellowships. You can apply like Fulbright and AAUW and DAD for the Germany. So, so these are the things you should keep in mind because funding, like you should end up in a lab which has funding which can pay you for 5 years, and you just don't have to do like teaching assistantship every semester. So teaching assistantship is like where you teach students and get paid for it, but it is like an extra responsibility apart from your research. So if like your professor doesn't have funding, he will put you on a TA, but that is not a very good scenario. So always eye for a lab that has a good funding and standing in the field. Other than that, this is, I will say, the most important thing. Look out for a good faculty and a good mentor that aligns with your interest as well as your like learning style. So if you're searching for faculty, you should look at their publications and look what are the grants they are having, what are the research centers they are part of, and then contact you find like this advisor is good for me. So contact him with an email and research interest statement. Like, I read up on your paper. Obviously, read up on their papers and the kind of techniques they use in the labs, and then like put that and integrate into your mail because it will sound more personal than generic. Because professors will know, like if you have read about their work. So this is like a good start if you show a genuine interest to the professor. But also, you have to do some background research whether their professor a mentoring style matches with how you work, because some professors, they are kind of like micromanaging, and if you're not good with that, that will not work with you. And some professors are hands off, so if you're someone who needs like guidance at every step, so that won't work with fit well with your like working style. So these are the small things that no one tells you, but these are things you should keep in mind when you're selecting a lab. So you should also check on like lab size. So if there's a big lab, so you won't have much of the, one-on-one mentoring. So you will have big labs, many postdocs. So that will postdocs will mentor you, but your advisor won't directly mentor you. And with small labs, it's more like your advisor will can directly mentor you and teach you some things. And with alumni outcomes, you should check where the lab members have graduated and went on, like in academia or industry. So some labs have like ties with industry. So many of their members do co-ops and internships and end up getting good jobs in industry. So it depends on how your advisor is well known and connected. And also, very important, research funding levels. I will like repeat it again and again. So, uh, um, if you have any questions, you can ask me later. And what is the return of investment? So, if you're like investing, I suppose for MS, if you're investing some money, so you will need a job that will you will get, all your money back, and you feel like, oh, it's worth it. So you should look on to what are your post graduation opportunities, and what is like the PhD stipend in the program. Like, will it cover the tuition, or you have to pay a tuition, or it will give you a good modest lifestyle. Because some of the programs, like I know, like engineering and life sciences program has more pay more stipend as compared to like humanities programs. So you have to look whether it fits with your living standards. And then also you have to consider the cost of living. Like in big cities, you will have like more rent, versus maybe in Midwest or small college towns, you will like live comfortably within your stipends. Um, Another thing is like, how is the alumni network? And it doesn't matter if the university is big or small, but it matters like whether they are involved with industries, they have industry ties, or they have like career fairs and and job placements. Well, so you should look about up on like their placement rates and where their alumni end up. And LinkedIn is a great place to search that. And you all have seen like pages of lab there are, and they have like where their past members have end up. You can contact their past members and know more about the lab mentoring style, and also like post graduation opportunities. So some of like the tools to search for like research opportunities, obviously university pages and faculty pages are very good place. Also, like ResearchGate and Google Scholar, you can look up the Google Scholar of the particular professor you find interesting. And also, the professors, they post their like PhD openings or postdoc openings on LinkedIn and also on Twitter. And you can also look about their funding status on, there is like NIH reporter which tells you how much money that particular professor have, what is the running grant for that professor. So it is like good to look into background of all of this. I didn't know this before applying to graduate school. I didn't know about a lot of funding things, which I know now, 2 years in a graduate school. So it's good to do your background search and not to end up in a place like which is not right for you. And you know, I mean, attending conferences is kind of like expensive, but if you can do like online thing, attend an online and, email professor, I did this and I read your paper about this and found it interesting, it will be a great networking opportunity for you. Some of the like, how do you funnel your approach is like define your research interest, and then within your research interest, prioritize like 8 to 10 universities and then categorize them into, dream universities that could be like within top 100. And a target university could be, some of the mid-rank universities, and safe universities is like according to your profile that you are really sure of getting into. So this depends like vary person to person because each of us have a very different profiles, and then start contacting their professors for whether they have like position in the lab or whether they have any opportunities. If they say no, don't apply to their program. Just look for a, position that you will like potentially target. And if your target certain professor and he doesn't have a PhD position, that won't work with you. You don't want to get into that program then. And then just like prepare your SOP accordingly and CV according to your program and what they required. And a lot of universities, they give you guidelines about SOPs and resumes, so that is a good thing to like follow. And whatever like you get, response from the professors based on this, maintain the Excel sheet of the universities you will be applying, where's their location, what's the how they are funded, and what it like alumni outcomes. So you just have to maintain all of these things, and it is a lot of research, but it will really help you in future when you're actually applying. I will say apply like early in like late October to mid November. Don't wait till like December 15th or December 1 deadline. So some of the like fellowships are like first come fast basis, so it will help you in that way. And just don't apply to all the top rank universities because that will like slim your chances of getting in. Mix it with like affordable and safe universities. Um, Now I will like move on to how do you find a graduate research opportunities online. So there are like lot of job portals and online websites where you can access the opportunities that are available in like all over the world. So you just have to like filter for the subject and country and like whatever the funding status is, how you're funded for the positions. And most of these like job openings, they can like in this way you can like directly contact to that professor or supervisor. You don't have to apply through a programs, as like for example in US you have to apply through a program. Even if professors say yes, I have a position, that professor can't hire you directly, so you have to apply through a program. But in countries like UK and Germany, you directly are hired by a supervisor. So if you find any supervisor that aligns with your research in those countries, you can like contact them and get an interview with them and get directly hired. So and these are like some of the platforms like which gives like UK and EU listing, like find a PhD, and that is for like specific opportunities in Germany. And there is DFG research training groups for like postdoctoral training in Germany. Um, for like if you see find a PhD portal, you can see something like this interface, and there are like a lot of programs. You can just click on your like specific field, and you will find like a lot of projects that are available like worldwide. So you can go through all these websites and just find your specific research fit. I will say there is like European research networks which give like Europe funded positions, and there will be like grants or fellowships you can apply to this. So these are like the really good portals that can give you a lot of information. And there are like international like nature careers that are for like jobs post PhD and fellowships, or for like faculty or research positions. So these are all like good portals that you should like set up your accounts on and like create alerts and links. So firstly, you just create an account and narrow by like your subject area and the location you want to pursue your PhD in, and then track the deadlines and see whether you are like eligible, because some positions will be for like domestic students only, and some will be for international. So it's good to compartmentalize that. And then just don't apply for application. Send a personalized mail with your CV and research uh, like statement directly to the faculty, so they will know like you applied to this program, so that you will be like put on the map for that. And LinkedIn, I will always say, is a very good place to contact their past lab members or PIs or anyone. So if you know anyone within your network who has like worked with this PI or worked in that universities, it's very good to connect with them and know what is the environment of the lab, about the mentorship style. And apart from, I will say, just prioritize if you are a right research fit for a lab, then just location or a title, because we always run after this is like big ranked universities, but it won't always be your good research fit. If you don't like the research there, and what goes on there doesn't resonate with your interests, it's not a good place to be. So I will say that's it from my side. I hope it will be like helpful for you, whatever I shared today. And if you have any questions, I'll happy to take that.